Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, Lady Bell. Welcome to Marriage Boot Camp 2019, 237 days deep. It's August 25th, 237 days deep already, Lady Bell. I'm going to stick to the topic. I'm going to stick to the questions. Remember we did DNA? Ever since we did DNA, we've been having a lot of questions. I'm going to stick to the questions. I'm going to stick to the topic. I'm going to stay focused. I'm not going to get distracted, but we are going to remember what happened 3 weeks ago. I'm going to stick to the topic. I'm going to stick to these questions. We're going to remember what happened in Dayton, Ohio. We're going to remember what happened in El Paso, Texas. We're going to remember what CNN special report, the state of hate in the United States. We're going to remember all of that. We can't get distracted. I'm going to stick to the question, but we can't get distracted. See how easy we get distracted? We was chasing chicken sandwiches this week. We was chasing Popeye and Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches this week. That's all you heard this week. Which one tastes better? Long lines at Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. See how quick we can get distracted? But I'm going to stick to the questions, Lady Bell. Good afternoon. One of the questions that we don't have a few people ask us these questions. First of all, we're going to let y'all know, we are a blended family. When me and Vicky got married, I had 2 children. She had 2 children. Robert and Vicky plus 4 equals the Bell Bunch. There was never any stepchildren. We did not use the word stepchildren, stepmom, or stepdad in our house. Her children was my children. My children were her children. I did not call her boys my stepsons. She did not call my children her stepchildren. Everybody was family. In my house, I was the daddy in that house. She was the mommy in that house. Whatever your other parents is doing at their house, that's their thing. But the rule in this house, I am the daddy, she is the mommy in this house, and you guys are our children. And the number one question when you have a blended family is, my husband want to discipline my children, and I don't want him to discipline my children. And then the husband feel, well, your children is out of control. Your children need some discipline. Your children need to be whooped. I don't want my husband whooping my children. I don't want my husband disciplining my children.
Well, let me say something here, though. If a wife or a husband doesn't want the other one disciplining their children, then why did you get married? Because that's part of the two becoming one. Go ahead.
He didn't only become your husband, he became those children's father. Father figure, whatever kind of rules y'all sitting in your house. She didn't only become your wife, she became your children's mother.
And then when you married him or her, that put them in a position of influence over your children as well.
Correct. I know it's a touchy situation, especially in today's society. Because you got women leaving men. You got a lot of young women, we see it all the time here in Vegas. These young ladies, they're dating these guys and they're leaving their children with these guys, and their children, these guys are beating their children. Not only beating them, but murdering them, causing death. They are beating these children so bad that they're causing death. So first of all, if you want your husband to discipline your children or not, you have to make the right decision on who you are marrying.
That's right.
And if you love this man enough to marry him, you have to trust if he's going to discipline your children, he's going to discipline them like his own. He's not going to hurt them. He's not going to harm them.
He's going to discipline them in love.
He's going to discipline them in love.
With the primary focus being correction.
But that's a topic that you all have to have before you get married. We say it all the time. We say it all the time. People plan the wedding, but they don't plan the marriage. This is a conversation that should be had before you get married. Okay, sweetheart, how do you feel about disciplining? Do you believe in whooping the children? Do you believe in giving the children time out? Do you believe in putting the children on punishment? What form of punishment or what form of discipline do you believe in disciplining your children? This is not only an issue with blended families. There are families, husband and wife, with their own naturally born children, biological mother and biological father, and they still do not agree on how to discipline children. This is a conversation you need to have before you get married. This is a conversation you need to have before you start making babies. But when it comes to disciplining your stepchildren, you need to sit down and talk about that. You got to make sure he or she, the other parent, the non-biological parent, is going to discipline and love. They're going to correct them and love. They're going to correct them and treat them as their own, which should be such. So when the two become one, when two individuals that have their biological children, when they get married, we believe 1 + 1 is your children is my children. My children is your children. And I trust and believe because I married you, you're going to discipline my children in the same manner as which you discipline your children, in love. Anything else on that topic, Lady Bell, before we move on?
Nope.
Another question. Rob, you said in the DNA, you did not ask, you do not ask. You mentioned money, tithes, and offering. If there's a disagreement when it comes to paying tithes and offering. If one individual believes we should pay tithes and offering, the other one believes we shouldn't pay tithes and offering. One individual believes we should pay 10%, another one believes we pay 5%. How do we come to that agreement? One question from the young lady was, I make more money than my husband. I believe in being blessed, so I pay my tithes and offering. My husband do not pay tithes. And I feel I do not want to blend my money with his because mumbo jumbo, listen, she do not want to blend her money with her husband's because she pays tithes and offering and he don't pay tithes and offering. And the pastor said, don't let your husband cause you to be cursed. Mumbo jumbo. There go that religious mumbo jumbo. You pay, you curse. Your money is messed up because you ain't paying tithes and offering. You ain't prosperous because you ain't giving out of a pure heart. You ain't prosperous because you're not paying tithes and offering consistently. You're not prosperous. You pay tithes and offering consistently, but you gave it grudgingly. Mumbo jumbo. You all have to come in agreement if we're going to pay tithes and offering. First of all, you got to go back to step 1. 1 + 1 equals
1.
Equals 1. My money is your money. Your money is my money, and our money is our money. Even before you get to tithes and offering, 1 + 1 equals 1. It's all one bank account. It's all one basket. How can you pay tithes and offering looking to get blessed and you're not even in financial agreement with your husband? You're not even in financial agreement with your wife and you still think that you're going to go to church and pay tithes and offering and that's going to make you financially blessed and you ain't even walking in agreement with your spouse? But because somebody in the pulpit told you to pay your tithes and offering first and everything else going to fall in place, mumbo jumbo. You can have your pastor call me. You can have any pastor call me. When they tell you that you paid your tithes and offering, you go some 30, some 60, some 100% return. Mumbo jumbo. You can pay tithes and offering all you want, 1%, 5%, 10%, 100%. Ain't no money coming from heaven. You got to still get out there and work. You got to still get out there and grind. You got to still keep a job. You still got to be a faithful servant of what you have. And how are you going to pay tithes and offering being in agreement with what they're teaching you and you ain't even, first of all, you got to be in financial agreement at home. Home first. Always home first. We got to be in agreement at first at home, Lady Bell. So even before you get into tithes and offering, first of all, you got to be 1 + 1 equals 1. You got to have financial agreement at home with your spouse. Before you even talk about paying tithes and offering, sit down and have a financial conversation about 1 plus 1 being 1 and all our money becoming 1. Because when it's all said and done, when you really need some help at church, you're going to have to fill out 20 forms. You can pay tithes and offering for 10, 15, 20 years, and then when you need some help, they're going to have you fill out 20 forms before they give you a penny. Here go this question again. See, y'all always say we always talk about money. That's most people's pain. Y'all always say we're talking about money. That's most couples' problems. Y'all always say we're talking about money. That's most couples' pressure. Y'all always say we're talking about sex. Sex. That's most people, that's most married couples' issue. That's most married couples' problems. That's most married couples' pain. And talking about pain, the question was, the young man asked me, he said, look, me and my wife are not having sex on a regular basis. It's like she has no interest at all when it comes to sex. And like I said, I believe a married couple should be having sex 2 or 3 times, bare minimum a week. If everybody is healthy, he's healthy, she's healthy, there should be a sexual desire in both of y'all. There should be a sexual drive in both of y'all if both individuals are healthy. Are you healthy, sir? Is your wife healthy, sir? You need to know if your wife's healthy. If she have no sexual desire, if she have no sexual drive, knock, sweetheart, what is wrong with you? I don't want any sex. I need to find out what's wrong with your head. I need to find out what's wrong with your heart. I need to find out what's wrong with your spirit. Because your desire should be towards me. So if she have no sexual drive, no sexual desires, something might be wrong. That's why it's called health issues. I've been telling you, dudes, for 2 or 3 years, sit down and talk to your wife and find out if she has any health issues. I'm talking from experience. When we mention these things, when we discuss these things, we've been there. We've done that. We dealt with health issues. I understanding my wife not having a sex drive because she had health issues. But sir, the answer to your question, I went to the doctor with my wife. I sat down and talked to the doctor with my wife. When my wife, most women, because they're so strong these days, a lot of men don't go to the doctor. Men, we might not go to the doctor because we don't want to find out what's wrong with us. But see, a woman, she will go to the doctor. She'll keep her yearly appointment. She'll get her yearly exam. She'll get her yearly mammogram. Is that yearly? She'll get her yearly pap smears yearly.
Depending on your age.
Depending on your age, pap smears yearly.
Yeah.
A woman goes, she'll get her mammogram. She'll get her pap smear. She'll get her yearly checkup. Even though they'll go, because they're so strong, they won't tell the doctors, well, how do you feel? Oh, I feel fine. Do you have any issue? No, everything is fine. Well, I got this little slight headache, but I think I'm just tired. I'm just tired because they always on the go. They always on the go because, sir, you don't want to carry the pain. You don't want to carry the problem. You don't want to carry the pressure. So she's carrying most of the load. Then you wonder why she has no sexual drive.
But then, too, let me just say, sometimes, when you talk, for me, I was tired, but everybody I talked to was tired, so I thought it was a norm. So just let me interject right here and say, do not ignore the symptoms, because we as women are always strong. We steady grinding and keep going. Do not ignore the symptoms. If you hear nothing else I'm saying, do not ignore the small things. And let your husband go with you. Sometimes we feel like we got it. Oh, I'm going to the doctor. Oh, you don't need to go. Yes, he does need to go. Because you know why? 4 ears are better than 2. He may hear something that I didn't hear. He may ask a question that didn't come to mind. And 2 of you there having dialogue with the doctor is important. It's important. And then you all can come to some type of agreement to whatever is going on health-wise. You go with him, he go with you. Be open to it because your life can depend on it. I'm done with it.
I like what she said. Do not ignore the symptom. Do not ignore the pain. Do not ignore the circumstance, sir. I'm talking to you, sir. You can't ignore. Why is she always tired? Why does she have no sex drive? Why does she have no desire? You remember that commercial? It was a commercial where a young lady was sitting in the doctor's office and she's talking to the doctor and she was saying, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. But her other self was sitting across the room saying, no, tell the doctor what's really wrong. Tell the doctor this, tell the doctor that. And then she's, okay, I do have these pains. Some of the things that women are dealing with, heart disease, high blood pressure. High blood pressure can kill a sex drive. Depression.
Yes.
She can be depressed. And she won't even know it because she had clocked into a zone. I gotta go to work. I gotta take care of the kids. I gotta take care of home. And she's a walking zombie. And she's depressed. And she don't know she don't even realize she's depressed. She had become a walking robot because she wasn't built to handle everything. She wasn't built to handle all the pain. She wasn't built to handle all the pressure. She wasn't built to handle all the problems. Sir, that's your job, sir. Pick up the pain, pick up the problem, pick up the pressure. Fibromyalgia, did I say that right?
Yes.
Fibromyalgia is a musculatory condition that causes widespread chronic pain. She's always in pain. Her back is hurt. Her neck hurt. Her arms hurt. Her legs is tired. That could be fibromyalgia. We're not doctors. We're just two laymen that studied this. Like I said, for years, my wife had health issues, sir. I went to the doctor with her, sir. I talked to the doctor for her, sir. How can we resolve it? What can we do? She had fibroid tumors. What you have? 6 or 7 fibroid tumors? She had 6 or 7 fibroid tumors. I think the smallest one was like the size of a grape. Then she had two or three that were the size of grapefruits. It's grapefruits. Can you imagine that imagine this man, your wife is walking around with 7 or 8 grapefruits in her stomach. You think that's not pain? And then when she's having a monthly cycle, can I be honest?
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to help you. She went from, her cycle was maybe 3 to 4 days, but when the fibroid tumors were kicking in, she would sometime be on her cycle for 7, 8, maybe 10 days. Heavy flow. Do you think she's thinking about sex? You think she got sex on her mind after she done been on her cycle for 10 days? That's the last thing that's on her mind. And you're not even paying no attention. You got to pay attention. If your wife is a 3-day cycle a female, then all of a sudden she's bleeding for 6 or 7 days. There's a problem there, sir. It could be fibroid tumors. Talk to your wife. Go to the doctor with your wife. Lupus. A lot of women are dealing with lupus. Now you're hearing this a lot. That's why I say when it comes to fibromyalgia, a lot of times it get misdiagnosed. It get misdiagnosed, and now it's this new thing that's called, read that, what's that, how'd you say that?
Endometriosis.
Say that one more time.
Endometriosis.
Endometriosis. Similar symptoms as having fibroid tumors, heavy cramping, heavy bleeding, back pain, painful bowel movements. A lot of women have painful bowel movements. A lot of women, they'll go 4 or 5 days without having a bowel movement. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going 4 or 5 days without bowel movement, sir? She's been eating every day and she haven't had a bowel movement in 4 days, 5 days. She's bloated, she's stuffed, she's tired. She got all that bowel backed up in her. It's killing her. And you ain't even asking her what's wrong. You just think she don't want to have sex. Painful bowel movement. And then when she do have a bowel movement, it's painful. Chronic fatigue. She's always tired. You always tired? You sleepy? You took a nap? You took a 2-hour nap and you still sleepy? Endometriosis. Did I say that right? Painful sex. She has no sex drive. She has no sex desire. And then when she do have sex, it's painful. Endometriosis. Did I say that right? Painful sex. No, you ain't giving her too much. It's endometriosis. It's endometriosis. That's what's causing the pain. And it could be you causing the pain because you're not taking your time. You're not doing any before the foreplay to get her aroused. But this could be the issue, sir. This could be the issue, young man. Your wife could be having some health issues and she don't even know it. Your wife could be having some health issues and you're not even sitting down talking to her. This is the answer to your question, sir. Next time your wife set up a doctor's appointment, you need to go with her. You need to go with her, and here she got a regular doctor and then her gynecologist. When she goes see her gynecologist, you got to go with her. I went with my wife to when we first got married, almost every gynecologist appointment. I wanted to get down there right with the doctor and see what was going on. If he can look, I can look. You have to go to the doctor with your wife to find out what's going on. Am I right?
Yes.
True story, then we done for the day. When we first got married, you always hear the dudes in the pulpit say, dwell with her according to knowledge. Dwell with her as a weaker vessel. I studied my wife. I observed my wife. I knew how long her cycle was. I knew when she was coming on her cycle. I knew when she was going to end her cycle. I knew her cycle better than her. You know, did she have more sexual drive before her cycle, or was the sexual drive up after her cycle? Or does she have a strong sexual drive on both ends of her cycle? You got to study to find out when does she want some? Do she need some before her cycle, or do she need some after her cycle? And if you're lucky, she wants some before and after her cycle. But you have to study her and dwell with her according to knowledge. Team Bell, you got to know, hey, you did not ask, you do not ask. It's still never too late to ask. You just can't keep sweeping the problems under the rug. I've been telling you, young men, for 2.5 years, you got to carry the pain, you got to carry the problem, you got to carry the pressure, because we all have them. Mm-hmm. Nobody is immune to pain, problems, and pressure. Team Bell, got anything you want to say, Lady Bell, before I say goodbye?
Marriage Boot Camp DNA, that's it.
Marriage Boot Camp DNA, 1 + 1 will always be
1.
2 is bigger, but it's still
1.
1 1,000, but 2
10,000.
Team Bell, we out.